Journey to the West, Chapter 18. The Battle at the Flowing Sands River and Wu Tong's Divine Intervention.
It is said that Sun Wukong collected the pig gang hyena in Galazhuang. Tang Seng gave him a dharma name called Pig Wenning, another stupid name Pigsy. Monkey King and Pigsy worked together to subdue the yellow wind monster again. 3 masters and apprentices plus a white dragon horse, all the way west, walked for a few months. It's late autumn and early winter again. One day, they came to a large river. I saw the river surging and the waves were monstrous. The monk reined in his horse and asked why the river was so wide. "Where is the ferry?" Pigsy said, "Master, I know this river. It's called the Quicksand River. It's 800 miles wide. The river is so deep and the water is so fast that even goose feathers can't float. Forget the boat." Tang Seng looked up and saw a stone tablet standing by the river. There are 3 big characters written on it, Quicksand River. Just when I was feeling worried, suddenly in the river, there was a loud noise. Drill out a red hair, indigo-faced monster. The monster was very fierce, with fluffy red hair, 2 round eyes like lanterns, a bloody mouth. A string of skulls hung around the neck. Holding a demon-suppressing staff in his hand, he jumped ashore and headed straight for Tang Seng. Sun Wukong was quick-witted, hugged Tang Seng, turned and ran. Pigsy drops the bag, lifts the 9-tooth rake, and hits it. The monster raised his staff to hold the rake. The 2 men fought by the river. This fight is more than 20 rounds, no winner or loser. When the monster and Pigsy were fighting each other, Sun Wukong escorted Tang Seng to a safe place. Looking back, I saw that Pigsy and the monster were fighting evenly. My heart is itchy, I can't help but jump up, raise the golden hoop and hit the monster. When the monster saw that Sun Wukong was ferocious, he feigned his staff, turned around, plopped into the river, disappeared. Pigsy complained, "Brother, who called you here? Let me fight a little longer and I can catch him. When you came, you scared him away." Sun Wukong smiled and said, "Brother, I'm a little anxious. But it doesn't matter, he can run the monk but not the temple. Always in the river." Tang Seng said, "Stop arguing. This monster is hiding in the river, we can't cross the river, what should we do?" Sun Wukong said, "Master, don't worry. Let's find a place to stay first, and then we'll think about it." The 3 of them walked along the river for a while, found a family on the south bank. They went to sleep over and the family received them warmly. After dinner, Tang Seng said, "Wukong, tomorrow you must find a way to catch that monster. We can cross the river." The next morning, Sun Wukong and Pigsy came to the river. Sun Wukong said, "Brother, wait by the shore. I went into the water to lure the monster out. If he comes out, you fight him. I'm blocking his escape in the back." Pigsy says, "Good idea. You go ahead." Sun Wukong recited a water avoidance mantra and jumped into the Quicksand River. He's an excellent swimmer, he walks flat in the water. After walking far, I saw the monster's cave. On the door, it says Water Curtain Cave. Sun Wukong laughed, "This monster will copy my name. It's just the word water." He shouted from outside the cave, "Monster, come out and die. The monster is sleeping in the cave." Hearing the shout, he rushed out with his staff. At first glance, it was Sun Wukong and scolded, "You monkey. Yesterday it was bad for me, but today I'm here to die again." Hit with a stick. The 2 fought more than 30 rounds in the water. The monster gradually became overwhelmed. Back to the surface while playing. At the shallows, he jumped out of the water and tried to run to the shore. Who knew that Pigsy was already waiting on the shore? Seeing him come up, he hit him with a rake. The monster was caught off guard and was thrown back into the water. Sun Wukong also chased out of the water, and the 2 pitted back and forth. The monster saw that the situation was not good and did not dare to fight. Another plunge into deep water, never to come out again. Sun Wukong and Pigsy waited on the shore for a long time, but there was no movement. Pigsy says, "The monster has learned. Hiding in deep water, what can I do?" Sun Wukong said that although I know how to water, but fighting in the water is not as good as fighting on land. You are better in the water than me. Why don't you go into the water and lure him out? I'll meet you on the shore. And Pigsy said, okay. My old pig was in charge of Tianhe 80,000 sailors. The water quality is not bad. Pigsy takes off her coat, jumps into the river with a rake. He came to the monster's cave. A rake smashed the door and scolded, "Monster, come out and fight with your grandpa pig for 300 rounds. The monster is angry in the cave. When Pigsy hits the door, he rushes out with his staff. The two fought in the water for another 2 hours, but they were still tied. Pigsy thought, this monster is really powerful. I'll pretend defeat and lead him ashore. So he feigned a rake, turned around and swam ashore. The monster caught up and was about to reach the shore. Pigsy jumped ashore. Shout out, brother, come quickly. Sun Wukong is already ready, raise the stick and hit it. The monster looked bad and retreated back into the water. Repeat this a few times, the monster is just not fooled. Only in deep water. Sun Wukong is helpless. I had to go back with Pigsy to see Tang Seng first and tell him the situation. Tang Seng sighed and said, this monster is so difficult to deal with. Are we stuck here? Sun Wukong thought for a while and said, Master, don't worry, I have an idea. This monster can come and go freely in the water. Presumably not an ordinary monster in the mortal world. I'll go to Nanhai and ask Guanyin Bodhisattva to ask. Maybe she knows the origin of this monster, can help us subdue him. Tang Seng nodded and said, then go back quickly. Sun Wukong, a somersault cloud came to Mount Putwo in the South China Sea. Met Guanyin Bodhisattva. Tell me about the monster that Liusha River encountered. Guanyin Bodhisattva said, I know that monster. He was a rolling shutter general in heaven. Because I accidentally broke the glass cup at the peach party, he was banished to the lower realm by the Jade Emperor. He has to suffer from a flying sword piercing his chest every 7 days. So poor. I wanted him to wait here for the scriptures. Bao Tang monk learned scriptures from the West and atoned for his sins. I didn't expect him to know you, but instead started a fight. Sun Wukong said that if so, ask the Bodhisattva to help us subdue him. Guanyin Bodhisattva said, that's fine. She called her disciple, Mucha, who was also Haiyan Walker, and said, you take this gourd. When you reach the quicksand river, call out the monster. Tell him that the scripture reader has arrived. If he is willing to convert, let him worship the Tang monk as his teacher. If he refuses, take him with this gourd. The wooden fork led the order and followed Sun Wukong to the quicksand river. The wooden fork stood by the river and shouted into the river, Wujing, Wujing. The scripture learner has already arrived, don't hurry up and come out to worship the teacher. The monster heard a shout in the river. As soon as the probe sees it is a wooden fork, he hurriedly jumped out of the water and saluted, Venerable Haiyan. The disciple didn't know how offensive the scripture reader was when he arrived. The wooden fork pointed at Sun Wukong and said, this is the disciple of the scripture learner, Monkey King. Come with me to see the master. Only then did the monster understand. He hurriedly followed Mucha and Sun Wukong to Tang Seng. When he met Tang Seng, he knelt down and kowtowed and said that the disciple did not know Mount Tai. I collided with the master, please forgive the master. Tang Seng helped him up and asked about his origin. I know he used to be a roller shutter general. He said, since the Bodhisattva asked you to protect me from going to the West to learn scriptures, I will accept you as an apprentice. I'll give you a Dharma name, it's Sha Wujing. The monster was overjoyed and made Sun Wukong and Pigsy his senior brothers. Tang Seng asked again, this quicksand river is 800 miles wide. There's no ferry, how are we going to get there? Sha Wujing said, Master, don't worry, the disciple has his own way. He took the string of skulls off his neck. He also took out the gourd given by Guanyin Bodhisattva. Tie the skull and the gourd together. Make a French boat and put it on the river. Tang Seng looked at it, a little scared, and said, can this thing carry people? Sun Wukong said, Master, don't worry. The Bodhisattva's magic weapon is definitely fine. He helped Tang Seng board the Dharma boat, himself and Pigsy. Sha Wujing protects on both sides. The ship was steady, riding the wind and waves. Soon we were on the other side of the river. The 4 disciples went ashore. Looking back at the surging quicksand river, Tang Seng was filled with emotion. He sorted out his clothes. Say to the 3 apprentices, thanks to you. We're going to get through this. There are still 108,000 miles ahead. We need to work together. Arrive in the west as soon as possible. Sun Wukong said, Master, don't worry. The 3 of us will protect you. I'm not afraid of any monsters. Pigsy also said, Yes, Master. Although my old pig is greedy, but the heart to protect the master is sincere. Sha Wujing smiled honestly and said, The disciple is new here. I will do my best in the future. Tang Seng nodded in relief and rode the white dragon horse. The 4 masters and apprentices continued to march towards the west. This is precisely the torment of the roller shutter general when encountering demons on the banks of the quicksand river. Guanyin points to the right path, and the master and apprentices sing to the west with one heart.